Welcome into Verts. My name is Harrison Graham. Let's dive into some NFL draft risers. Now, this is from the first few days of workouts. So today the receivers will run, etc., tight ends too. So this is mostly defensive guys that we're going to focus on here on today's show. If this show does well, maybe we'll do a round 2 of this Sunday or Monday. So subscribe to the channel and stay tuned. We're trying to get to 17,000 subs here on Verts. If you want to support the movement, we would greatly appreciate it. We're dropping daily NFL content here on this YouTube channel. Join the wave, free agency around the corner, draft after that, lots going on in the National Football League. Okay, NFL draft risers. How about Jacob Rodriguez? I mean, what this guy did this week, going into the combine, I said, this guy has great instincts. His tape is phenomenal. If he just tests above average, I think he's a lock day 2 pick. He tested exceptionally well. 9.52 out of 10 on the relative athletic score. Shout out to MathBomb on Twitter. He's a great follow, by the way. 10 is like the max. You're the best testing in the combined categories in the history of the combine. So he's top 95 plus percentile since I think data compiled since 1987. And really the only non-green is his height and weight. He's slightly on the underside, but undersized side of things. But in today's NFL, a lot of linebackers play 230, 235. His on-the-field tape is awesome. I mean, he's always around the football, tackling machine, in the backfield, picking passes off, breaking up passes. He's an excellent leader as well. Call me crazy. I think Jacob Rodriguez not only solidified himself as a lock second-round pick, could he go in the first? I mean, you tell me. After Sonny Styles and Arvell Reese, who obviously had great combines as well, but we knew they were lock top 10 picks, is Rodriguez a first-rounder? C.J. Allen didn't even test out of Georgia. I think Rodriguez, you can make a strong argument, is the third best linebacker in this draft. I think there's a world where he goes in the first round. Hell of a week for him. He had the most to gain, in my opinion, because everybody knew the character, the on-field production, and the instincts were great. The testing is there as well. Really athletic player. Awesome week for Jacob Rodriguez out of Texas Tech. All right, second up here is Tacario Davis, the corner out of Washington, transferred from Arizona. Only played in 7 games this year, was a little banged up, but historically has not been a guy who's dealt with injuries. Incredible size-speed combination at the cornerback position. I mean, almost 6'4", ran a 4.4 in the 40-yard dash, which is an excellent time for him. Has good press man skills. If you're a team that wants a press man corner, I think this guy is intriguing. Probably day 2 after his NFL combine. You look at his last 3 seasons. He's played in 32 games between Washington and Arizona. Not incredible ball production, but 24 breakups in 32 games. You're getting your hand on almost 1 football per game. You'd like to see him pick off more passes, but he's got physical characteristics that translate to the next level. Tall, lanky, really fast, athletic, physical enough at the point of attack. I think he's got a chance to be a starting corner in the NFL. Todd McShay pointed out that the arm length and 40 speed, that's another thing. Almost 33.5-inch arms at almost 6'4", an 81-inch wingspan. This guy has a longer wingspan and arm length than a lot of the pass rushers and some of the offensive linemen in this draft. It's really impressive the way this kid is built, and if he can continue to refine his craft, I think he's got the skill set to be an excellent NFL corner. Okay, Caleb Banks, I knew he would test well. I knew the measurements would be good, but they were pretty mind-blowing, right? When you're talking about a guy 6'6", 327, he almost ran a sub-5 in the 40 at that size. For him, it's all about the health to me and just stacking reps because he's been banged up the last 2 seasons with a foot issue, which he re-aggravated this year. If the foot clears, he's got a chance to be the first defensive tackle selected in this draft, and I think his ceiling is the highest. Now, he's a little bit older, 24 years old, but you just don't see these type of physical characteristics and athleticism that often. Just for example, Peter Woods is either 6'3" or a tick shorter, 298 with 31.25-inch arms. Now, his tape, and he's played a little bit more, has probably been more consistent over his collegiate career, and the tape matters the most, but Caleb Banks, these are the type of guys, GMs, scouts, they salivate over. They're like, oh, my God, get him in with some good NFL coaching. He could be the next Chris Jones. I mean, that's how teams, a lot of these teams look at it. Now, I'm always tape production over traits, but we have seen him flash a lot when he has played and been healthy. The health is the key here. If that foot checks out, I think he could be a top 15 pick because his physical traits are just they're just off the charts. I mean, you just don't see 6'6", 327 that move the way he does. So it's really, really impressive. Okay, more prospects to break down here in just a moment, but got to tell you guys about our awesome sponsor first. That, of course, is PrizePicks. Shoot your shot on PrizePicks and get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. That's right, PrizePicks is now giving you $50 in lineups when you sign up and play your first $5. They make every dunk, every dime, and every board that much more exciting, so don't miss the chance to get started on America's #1 app for sports picks. That is PrizePicks. All kinds of sports available. You're talking about basketball, baseball's around the corner, hockey's ongoing, soccer during football season. It's awesome. And if you're a football junkie, you're like, I don't want to mess with these other sports. That's not my wheelhouse. How about season-long football projections here? I like more on Myles Garrett, 13.75 sacks next year. He's not going to have 25 again or whatever it was. But he has 14 or more in 5 straight seasons, so I'm going to stick with that trend. Caleb Williams' pass yards last year was almost 4,000, and that was at 58% completion percentage, so I love the more of basically 3,700 there. And then Colston Loveland had 6 receiving touchdowns as a rookie. Give me more than 6.5 in year 2. $20 lineup to win $100 there. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use our code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you sign up and play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Okay, next up is Central Florida edge rusher Malachi Lawrence. Got to give my producer Cullen a shout out on this one. He's been on him for a little while now. He tore up the combine. And he tested well, but he's also been pretty productive for UCF as well. Almost 30 TFLs in 36 games over the last 3 years, 19.5 sacks. You know, he's not had like this 13-sack season or anything, but he's been just steadily solid for 3 straight years. He's gotten a little bit better each year, and then the testing was off the charts. Tested really, really well, ran well, the vertical, the explosive drills there with the broad and the vertical jump. That's really important for a pass rusher because like that get off, that first step, that's what these teams look for in these pass rushers. And I think edge might be the deepest position in this draft. I know Dane Brugler's high on Lawrence. He had him as a top 100 guy coming into the combine, and he's saying he could go top 2 rounds on, maybe a top 60, top 65 pick. So we'll see where he ends up going. But edge is loaded, man. There's a lot of buckets of guys. You've got your elite guys at the top, the David Baileys of the world, the Arvell Reeses, if teams consider him an edge. And then you got those mid-late first-round guys. Then you have a ton of day 2 guys. And I think Malachi Lawrence is firmly in that mold. So if you're a team that needs an edge, but maybe doesn't have a premium pick in round 1, maybe you wait 2nd, 3rd round. You can get a contributor in year 1 and a guy who could develop into a starter. I think Lawrence has the traits to be one of those guys. Okay, lastly here, Dillon Thieneman, the safety out of Oregon. You know, Caleb Downs is the clear #1 safety in this draft, but there's been kind of an ongoing debate, and I don't think it's settled, but is it Dillon Thieneman or is it Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, the safety out of Toledo? And Thieneman's testing far better than McNeil-Warren's, who tested fine, but Thieneman 4.37 in the 40. I think his second one might have been a 4.36, actually. We're filming this shortly after he did his testing. 41 inches in the vertical, 10.5 in the broad. For example, McNeil-Warren was like in the low 4.5s in the 40. He had like a 35-inch vertical, and his broad was 10.2. So that one was pretty close. But Thieneman's explosiveness and athleticism stood out in comparison between those two. Now, they're different players, and again, the tape matters more. I think McNeil-Warren's size and versatility outweighs Thieneman's versatility overall. So I think it really depends on the team. But I think this guy locked himself in as a first-round pick. I think he's going to go in the first round, potentially as high as a team like Minnesota, 18. Dare I say Dallas at 12? Is that a little rich? Maybe, but he's going to go high in the draft. And, you know, this is a guy, 3-year starter, two years at Purdue, Oregon last year. And it was kind of a theme among the safeties. They were flying in Indy. Hand-up accountability. I didn't know Sonny Styles had a brother, Lorenzo Styles Jr. Ran a 4.27. I mean, these guys were just running around. So feels like every year at the Combine, these athletes bigger, faster, stronger. It's incredible to watch, and that was certainly on display once again. Which prospect helped themselves most this week in Indianapolis at the NFL Combine? Drop a name for us down in the comment section below. Obviously, a guy like Sonny Styles, but he was already going to go top 10, but he was a clear Combine winner. I mean, he could go top 5 now. Could the Giants at 5 take him? Titans at 4 even? You never know. Arvell Reese, he tested extremely well. Also, I think the question there is he an edge? Is he an off-ball guy? What's your plan for him? That's going to be important. D'Angelo Pons, undersized, only 5'8.5", but man, he's explosive. 43.5-inch vertical. I know it's kind of a cliche when analysts say this, but he does play bigger than his size. He's physical at the point of attack, so curious to see where he goes in the draft. David Bailey, I thought, had a good day. There was I can't remember which drill it is, but there was one drill where, these Twitter warriors were saying, look how tight the hips are. I've watched a lot of this guy's tape. He's pretty explosive off the edge. He may not be a perfect prospect, but I think he's going to be a really good pro. And then Denai Dennis Sutton out of Penn State. Just another Penn State edge rusher that's really explosive. He's not as talented as a guy like a Micah Parsons or certainly an Abdul Carter, but I think he could be a very productive pro. 17 sacks the last 2 years, and the RAS was in the 9.9. So really, really explosive, fluid athlete there. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of For Verts. Again, a couple more position groups to test here, so we'll see how that goes. Maybe we'll run back this video with those groupings tomorrow or the next day, so stay tuned for that. My name is Harrison Graham. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you soon.